There we go. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Creative Connections. I'm going to just let people jump on and just introduce my next guest. So welcome anyone who joins us. I would love if you just, tell us who you are, where you're from, and any replay guests, please let us know who you are as well. We'd love to hear from you and share. So I just want to welcome today my guest, Justin Stewart. Hi, Justin.
Hello.
And Justin and I've known Justin since, 2015, right, Justin? We met?
Yeah.
We met, like many people I know in the U.S., through Time to Revive, when I used to travel with that ministry and paint. And I met Justin in Indiana when we were there in 2015. So hi, Leela. Leela's joined us. Hey, Leela. So nice to see you. So Justin, if you don't mind introducing yourself, that would be awesome. Let people know who you are.
All right. I'm Justin. I'm from Indiana, the U.S., a great state of Indiana where we have a lot of cornfields and pretty much nothing else. I'm currently a certified health coach, and that's kind of what I do. So.
Yeah. And how many you have a family? You have 2 kids and
yes.
Melissa?
I am married. I've been married for, let me see if I can get this right. She's going to watch this later, so I have to make sure I get it right. We've been married for 12 years and been together for 16 years.
Wow.
And I have 2 boys, one 15-year-old and one 10-year-old, which is crazy to think, but
it is. Yeah, I have a 10-year-old as well and a 15-year-old, so we have similar age children, and it is definitely a new phase, but we love it. So it's fun to have these young men growing up. So
yes.
That's so awesome. Hi, Danny. Danny's joining us. So today, like these little lives I've done, I just love to connect with people and testimony through creativity and art, because I'm an artist. I love how art connects to those who see it and experience it, and art kind of has a language of its own. And the one thing I love doing art is hearing how it speaks to other people, and how God can use creativity to speak to other people's lives and where they're at and their testimonies. So it's just this beautiful circle of connection, right? So I just want to thank Justin off the get-go, because Justin has supported my artwork from the very beginning when I started doing this. And I just want to thank you and Marissa for continually being a supporter of me. Thank you. Justin has, how many paintings do you have that I've painted for you guys so far?
So I have 5 in the house, 5 full-size paintings. That doesn't include the prints that we have. We have everything that I think we started doing the club at the beginning of the year. So we have all of those. And then we have several other of the prints that we've bought just because they speak to us. So.
Thank you. I mean, honestly, Justin is pretty much one of my top supporters. I would say you are 1 or 2. There's 2 of you, and you are one of them. So I really appreciate you guys. And we can even talk about what's behind you in a bit. But Justin has a few originals, and we'll talk about the Collectors Club in a bit. I know, Leela, you're on and you're part of that, so I thank you as well so much. That Collectors Club I kind of started for a couple reasons, and one of them was just I wanted to continue doing a painting a month that the Lord laid on my heart, just kind of like a word for that month, what I was feeling, what kind of things God was showing me. And I send a printout to people who've joined the club and they're really doing it to really support my artwork and keep it going, because that collectors club fee helps me keep going every month with other projects. So I just love it. It's the best way that I've been supported is through people who have done that. So I thank you guys. And then they get a print of it and have this like print collection. So we'll talk about a few of those, because Justin has bought some of the original paintings from that collectors club. So the painting that I want to kick off with, and then Justin, I would love for you to share with us your testimony a bit of what's been going on in your life and how God's worked in your life. And the painting that you guys purchased from the Collectors Club that I kind of showed on the, the little ad to start this was this painting here. And I called it Come, O Breath is the title I did. But, the whole visual is from the story in Ezekiel of the Lord showing Ezekiel a vision of a valley of dry bones. And he told Ezekiel to prophesy to these bones and breathe the breath of life into these bones, and they shall come alive. So just a beautiful visual that God gave, and what a powerful image that through our prophetic utterance that the Lord shows us, we can literally speak life into dead things. So that painting, I would love for you to share what drew you to that painting most, and what it's like having it, how it speaks into you.
Okay, so in order to explain that, I have to explain,
your story.
I came from. Okay,
absolutely.
So I left Time to Revive a couple years ago. I really felt like the Lord was calling me to create a video game. Okay. And so that meant, I had several people around me who, I brought in and shared the idea with them and everything like that. And the funny thing is, we're talking about art, but the guy that I'm about to talk about did the art all over my arms. So, so he was my tattoo artist, and I had started discussing ideas with him, and he just poured into me, and he's like, yeah, how about this? How about that? And I actually, sent him a message and gave him a month's time. And I said, hey, you want to go to Los Angeles with me? Like, I got invited to this thing. Like, let's just do it. And he's like, yes. And so we flew to Los Angeles, and, it just felt like everything was just going strong and powerful. And like, all of a sudden, like, we have these ideas down and everything like that. And then boom, he passed away in a motorcycle accident. Completely shook my world, if I'm honest. I wasn't expecting it. Like, you think that you're on this cloud nine, and then all of a sudden, like, it just feels like everything was just stripped from underneath me.
Right. Wow.
And so like, I struggled with just the thought of my friend being gone, and, just fell into a really dark place for, I'd say about probably a year and a half, 2 years. There was a time where I spent 6 months at home, literally not talking to anybody.
Wow.
It was a struggle to go to church. It was a struggle to be around anybody. And eventually my wife looks at me and goes, you need to get up and you need to go work. I said, all right. I said, I'll do it. I'll get up, I'll get out of the house. I got to be around people. I got to do something, because the reality is if I shrink down, I'm just dying on the inside. And, even though I got up and went to work, like, I still felt like inside of me, like I was dead. Like I don't know. I didn't know what to do with myself. And so I worked, through the pandemic and stuff like that, and, crazy hours, like, and it felt like it was killing me, like literally killing me. At that point I'm still not doing anything with the video game. I felt like the Lord told me to take it up to the mountain and get rid of it, just like Abraham did with Isaac. Like, just sacrifice it. He'll do something with it later, but right now it's just gone for now.
Yeah.
And so at the end of last year, I felt like the Lord just really spoke to me, because I was praying last year. I was like, I don't know what to do with life. Like, no idea. Like, I don't have the video game anymore. I'm working crazy hours. I feel like I'm about to die after a full week of working 55, 60 hours. And um, so, you know, at the end of last year, I looked at Marissa. I said, I can't do this anymore. I got to
Yeah.
quit this job.
Hmm.
I'm done. I can't do it. And she said, I agree. I don't like who you're becoming. It's not you.
Hmm.
Um, and uh, I had taken some time and sought the Lord at the end of last year. And I just asked him, what's next? And really all I heard was, are you ready? No, I was not. I was 321 pounds. I was tired. I was unhealthy.
Wow.
Mhm. And so through this year, now I decided to jump on a plan that somebody had talked to me about 3 years ago, about weight loss, and actually not even about weight loss, it's about lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Um, and so through that, 10 months later, I'm down 130 pounds. Um,
That's incredible.
uh,
Wow.
I still find it crazy that, I mean, I'm the person in the body, and I still find it crazy that I didn't even think it was possible. So,
Right.
but
Wow.
to go back to the painting, like, I feel like through since January to now, the Lord has taken his breath and really just breathed life directly into me. Like, as soon as I saw the painting, like, it's kind of a double take on the painting, because
Okay.
like the thing that really I struggled with over the last 2 years was death, which, bones, and, and seeing the flowers come out of it, I was like, that's all right. That's the Lord saying he's going to bring beauty from all this,
Hmm.
like everything. And like the sun shining down onto it, it's like the Lord has been there the whole time, through this whole mess, through everything, through the dark times, through everything. And now I just feel like, I'm a renewed person. Like all of a sudden the breath has just brought me up out of the ground and from the mess and the darkness that I was struggling in.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I when you were like, yeah, you asked if the original was left, and I'm like, yeah. And I just felt like, wow, that is it's just an awesome picture for your story. Because I even know I knew you told me, I think, when
Mhm.
your friend passed away, but I forgot that was kind of a catalyst of some of this like progression of story you have, that there was a literal death in your life with a
Mhm.
friend, but how God can breathe a renewed sense of hope into someone's life and say, I'm not done with you. Like, there's stuff I have for you to do, you know? And I just have felt that recently, even with this whole global pandemic we've all been in. I mean, I'm in Canada, you're in the States, but just there's been an unleashing over all of us of I have met more people that have, it just the minute your normal gets shaken outside our control is when, things just surface. And I think it's God's way of bringing things to the surface so we can deal with them, you know? I have felt that. And even with like the dry bones, uh, they God has his breath of life to breathe that into these bones, and we can come alive again. I mean, spiritually speaking, anyone can be revived by Jesus,
Mhm.
the Holy Spirit. So I just thought it was a really powerful image, and was so honored that you guys would have that original. You sent me a picture
Mhm.
of your before and after, and I just want to share that if that's okay.
Yeah.
Um, this is pretty powerful. Anyone watching, Justin went through like you're like it's like a completely different person.
Yeah.
Um, a huge weight loss change. And when we met, I mean, I knew you in picture number one, and it's incredible to me, the perseverance. And maybe you can share a little bit, expound a little bit on what that was like in your journey of losing that much weight, but just the even how what it changed for you mentally.
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, the perseverance is, it's really, I was kind of to the point of like I was like, man, if I don't change something, I'm gonna die. Like that was literally, I was like rock bottom at the end of last year. So the perseverance was there because like I was like, I don't know what else I'm gonna do. Uh
Mhm.
and mentally, like, you don't think that, like, I guess for me mentally, like I had to get to the point of realizing that I was facing food as an idol and I let it control me. And I was having a bad relationship with food. I mean,
Right,
before I started the plan, I ate 4 giant pieces of pizza. That's not good for you. Uh,
right.
and so, like, mentally, I mean, just through this whole year, like, uh, it's just changed the view and the aspect of like what food is to me and why do I even want it? Like, do I want it because it tastes good, or do I want it because it's going to fuel me for the next couple hours? Like, and that's
Right.
really the big mental change over the last couple of months.
That's amazing. Yeah, and I mean, food it was food for you, but it could be other things for anyone else too.
Mhm.
I mean, I just see your journey as, like you said, it's a health journey. Of course, weight loss was part of it for you, but you're you said you're more energetic now. I bet your mood has lifted.
Yep. You know, I I didn't realize how connected like my emotions were to being overweight and unhealthy
Mhm,
until this year. Like, uh, I'm happy all the time. I have so much energy. Literally, I have to go walk at least for 30 minutes because I have too much energy most of the time. Uh,
that's
uh,
good.
yeah, and so I mean, yeah, like the way I've never tied my weight to anything in life, right? And so like going through the last 10 months, I've noticed that it affects every single thing in in your life.
Mhm.
And it's insane.
Wow. Yeah. Well, and even just, like, I know I don't have a weight loss issue, but I eat like, everybody could be eating better, right? Like, I
Mhm.
know my energy fluctuates with sugar,
Yep.
and right, because it's like a you just have you high and crash, and then you crave it, and then it's a mess, and all that, and exercise too. I mean, if everyone stayed healthy, you would have a lot better clarity in mind and everything. I mean, I just see even like the beat down going on in society too of like depression, just everything. And how amazing in a time of, being feeling so oppressed, someone like you can persevere through that time and use it for the good and use it to get healthy. And I think it's kind of a cool testimony of no matter what is around us that we'd have no control over, there is still something that you can do to make yourself better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I look back on is that I have a bathroom down in my basement, and there's a mirror so I can see like my top half. And every time I would go in there, I would look at myself and I would think, you're disgusting. Like you just
Mm,
look awful. And like that was part of what was feeding into the depression and everything, is that I was very unhappy in my skin and who I
mhm,
was.
mhm.
And so like it really, losing the weight and becoming, I mean, I'm still trying to reach my goal. But the reality is that like when you become happy with who you are, then you have the power to fight off, whether it's depression or whatever the case may be, or, even just self-loathing, um, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Good for you. So yeah, huge story. That I mean, anyone can do it, right, Justin?
Oh
You're
yeah,
probably
for
like,
sure.
if I could do it, you could do it.
Yep.
So, if anything, I want anyone to take away inspiration. I'm just gonna throw it one more time that this is the perseverance Justin did in a year. And that's like not a lot of time. It's amazing. You like completely transformed, and you're getting ready. Like, what do you
Yep.
feel like that get ready meant for you?
I'm still asking the Lord. I'm like, can you tell me? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. And
Yeah.
you know, oh, I should have sent you the other picture. So that I sent you one picture. It's of the clock painting, right?
Okay. Here, let me find it. I did. Yeah, this one here.
Okay, so that was our second. That was our first painting that we ever bought from you. Actually,
Yeah.
5 years ago, we were actually
Yeah, I'm like,
in
I've come a long way since that painting.
Ohio. That's still one of my wife and I's favorite paintings of yours. So like,
That's so
um,
cool.
but
I
5 years,
remember painting that in Ohio. We were in Ohio,
yeah,
I believe, for a revive time. So,
it
and
was,
I called it Time.
yeah,
And yeah, and there was a reason for the 11th hour. I just feel like we're moving into, I'm sure every generation has felt like we're in, closer to the end times because every day we do get closer.
mhm,
That's just the reality of like time moving on. But it was like an alarm clock, a wake up call. Uh, you know, we're in an 11th hour feel, right?
yeah.
In the body of Christ, in the time. And I just remember that painting just with just the simple message of wake up.
The crazy thing is that so we bought that painting actually because Marissa saw it and was like, oh, it's time. I feel like I'm called to ministry. And it didn't happen with Time to Revive, but the crazy thing is right now she's actually head HR over a ministry. So
Wow.
it's insane how like, we bought that painting 5 years ago and it's
Mhm.
come you know, to what she was feeling. But I sent that because so I was talking to somebody the other day and they said they keep seeing 11. So that clock says
Mm.
11 o'clock, right? I have
Mhm.
another clock on my wall, right? And it was 12:30. I had
Mhm.
known because I had told my wife the clock had stopped at 11 o'clock directly when I walked up there. I had no idea. So I don't know. The Lord's gonna do something crazy here soon, and I was supposed to get ready for it. So that's all I know.
Amen. Yeah. I can't wait to hear what moves on from your story now. It's so good. You've been getting ready. Um, yeah, let me put up the other painting that's on its way. This one is definitely a personal fave. When I painted it, I really connected with it for numerous reasons. But so this painting was last month's Collectors Club painting. Um, and Justin, I don't know, you tell me, you opened it because you texted me right away and you're like, is that original still there? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't even so before I even read the description that you gave with the painting, I knew exactly what it was. It was about refinement.
Yeah.
You have to like I even like was discussing this a couple of weeks ago with Marissa just about how like the leaves have to die in order for them to become anew, right?
Yep.
Uh, and so as soon as I saw it, like even just where the flames are, like that when we look at something on a timeline, the past is always on the left side, right? So for me, like this really symbolized that like I've been through my refinement. Like this whole last 2 years, the Lord has used to just refine who I am and what's coming next. Like
Wow.
and like as soon as I saw it, I sent Marissa a message. I was like, I have to have it. And she was like, oh dear.
That's so awesome.
And she was like, you know what? If it's speaking to you, grab it. And so like,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, fall is 100% my favorite season of the year. It always brings change. It's the
it
biggest
does.
symbolization in any of the weather that we have that like, you know, if I mean for a Christian anyways, like I have to die to myself in
Mhm.
order for me to become anew. And if I don't, then you know, I turn into orange stuff that's nasty on the inside or brown or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. I love how you mentioned the left. I never even would have thought of that. That's what's cool. People see different things in art. I love it. I love hearing other people and how they see it. Um, when I was painting this, I mean, I just felt definitely I had to paint a symbol of the refiner's fire. I just saw fire, I saw purifying, and I felt like, I mean, it is the fall. So, of course, a leaf really meant something to me of transition. So, I feel like in this season of transition, I have felt this purifying thing the whole last since 2020. Like this whole pandemic thing feels like a purifying like the Lord actually is like pausing things to say, I want everyone purified and getting ready and getting like your house in order kind of thing. But I'm going to read a verse because this went with it. 1 Peter 1:7. And it says, so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that perishes through it is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor at the revelation of Jesus Christ. And I'm like, wow, that's a powerful verse. That our faith is tested through fire. And through that, we may be found resulting in the glory and honor and praise at the revelation of who, like Jesus, you know? And I just felt like it's such a powerful time right now to be tested, to be purified. And what better time than now? I mean, it's not fun going through purifying fire. And every single person that's human can be purified constantly. And I think that's the biggest challenge recently too with me over the last couple of years is what junk is the Lord trying to burn off, you know? Tons. We have a long way to go as the church, you know? And but how beautiful he uses fire in scripture, you know? And then I also thought of the burning bush, how he called Moses by the burning bush. I mean, he called him out of fire. And how he put, you know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fire. And their faith through the adversity of their time they were living in, they trusted God that much, and they were protected in the fire, you know? Yeah. And I just think now, like, we're all in a testing time, and let God burn it off. And it's really challenging where your hope, like where we planted in right now when things shake all around you, because the only solid thing is God. And I mean that I've been just really tested in the whole notion of that God is holy and that we serve a holy God, and we're not in control all the time, you know? There's obedience to his voice, and that's where he will guide us through the uncertainty. So yeah, that painting was I really loved it. And also being in Canada, I mean, it's a maple leaf. So I thought I kind of did a little bit for my own nation in that Canada is under fire. Like, man, I'm sure everywhere is, but because I live here, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the fire that Canada is going through. So yeah. And the other thing, I don't know who pointed it out to me, but in the background, I did kind of just a look of trees back there, like a forest, but they almost look like people. Kind of like someone, one of my friends here was saying, it looks like the cloud of witnesses looking in through whatever, like a heavenly atmosphere. And it just kind of looks like this group of people standing there, you know. I just see them as mighty warriors or mighty men in the trees or something. And I see them kind of like angelic beings there for us. So anyway, that was a personal fave for me too. So it's on its way. I sent it. So Justin should be getting the original here really soon. And then I just wanted you to quickly discuss what's behind you since we're on before we jump off. But yeah, that painting, where did that come from?
So I had commissioned you to do that was it for Marissa's birthday or was it for our anniversary?
It was your wedding anniversary.
Yeah, wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of our favorite pieces. So we have it set up. So our living room is in our basement. So we actually have it set up to where, like, when you walk down our basement stairs, it's the first thing you see once you turn the corner.
Oh, wow. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, and that you kind of were vague, and I don't like just throwing it out there, commission work for artists. Commissions are a lot of pressure for artists. I find, I don't know, I can't speak for every artist, but sometimes it's hard when someone's like, "Hey, do you want to do just, paint whatever the Lord shows you for me?" And it's like, wow, that's a lot of pressure. But because I know Justin and Marissa, I felt that they wouldn't ask me unless they trusted what came out. So I kind of took the pressure off me a bit, and I just prayed, and I had, just this vision of this sword and shield in a rock. It's very, what's that? What's that? What's that movie with the sword and the rock? I don't remember what's
Sword in the
called.
Stone.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I just had this kind of vision of this sword in the stone, and it being just like you and Marissa are like a weapon in the Lord's hand for what he has for you, and how it's like a shield. The two complement each other as weapons of war. One's a shield and one's that sword of truth. I just really felt that you guys carry kind of that warrior call. And I just wanted to visually declare that. And then I asked what your wedding flowers were, because for a wedding, I'm like, and I love painting flowers. Like, flowers are my thing. And when you said hydrangea, I was like, yes, those are awesome. Like, how fun to paint big hydrangea balls, But I just saw it in this just field of hydrangeas, and I had to put the butterflies in because they represent transformation and change. And I did 4 to represent each one in your family. So your 2 kids and you and Marissa. So just this, beautiful picture of a call that you guys have in a family. And that was a couple of years ago, right? Like, it was before you
I think
started
so.
this whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
Really. So you went through a huge transformation in, after that. So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of our favorite things. Like, first of all, it was really hard to commission you and pull money out of the account. And like, Marissa be like, would you just buy? I'm like, nothing. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I know. You're like, just wait.
Yeah. And like, as soon as we saw it, we were like, wow, that, it really speaks to us. I mean, everything you said, like, we had talked to you after we had saw it, and like, that's
Right.
everything that we felt as soon as we saw it. And
Yeah.
man.
So cool. Well, God's doing something pretty powerful in your life, and I can't wait to see your next phase. Like, that's what's fun, is sometimes the Lord like doesn't show us. He shows us glimpses, but never the full thing, because that's the whole point of journeying with him, is that we stay close to him, right? Do you feel like this whole journey with you has brought you closer to God?
100%. Like, you asked about the perseverance. Like, I mean, the perseverance, I've gotten perseverance in the Lord, maturity,
Mm-hmm.
just everything. I mean, it feels like, the discipline that I had to go through just to not eat food has also disciplined me to pray more, or disciplined me to be in the word more, or disciplined me, to ask the Lord when I'm out and about, or even just caring about others more. Like, and so like, yeah, I was actually just telling somebody the other day, like, I feel the most mature I've ever felt, with the Lord than I ever have this year.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's the weight loss, or if I don't know if it's the transformation I had to go through to get here. But
Yeah, it's probably all of it.
yeah.
Process is so big, and he's more concerned about that than, I find with God, in situations, sometimes we get buried in them. We can't see outside of it, but he's more concerned of the whole picture and what he's doing to transform us, because that's the beauty of God, is that he leaves the past behind with us. And it's like he's new every day, and he forgives us, all the time. And it's sometimes I'm always like, I have to accept that from him. Even though we know it, we really have to receive it and accept it for many things, so we don't carry, the past with us. So That's cool. Hey, Tom. Tom Schiefer's on. Tom
Hi, Tom.
Schiefer's from Indiana too. That's so awesome. Yeah, he said, glad you have another episode and great to have you on, Justin. Awesome. And Elizabeth, hi, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for this. Really blessed me. Yeah. Yeah. We're really blessed by Justin's story. And I think my biggest takeaway with you is God can do impossible things when you don't think they're possible. He can change anyone's life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you feel is your next? Do you have any next journey? If people want to talk to you, maybe.
Yeah, you can put up the information if
Sure.
you want.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know how I lost all the weight, or just want to talk, like, there's my phone number. Send me a message on Facebook. I'm more than willing to talk to anybody. Currently, right now, I'm doing this whole certified health coach thing, and I'm really pretty open with my schedule and everything, and I'm really just waiting to see where the Lord sends me next. I mean, I've been in contact with several old friends that I haven't talked to for like a year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm excited for next month. How about that?
Okay, that's cool. We'll take your word on that. I'm excited to hear. Yeah, so you can look Justin up on Facebook. This is his name, Justin Stewart, and he graciously shared his cell phone number, which is awesome. So if if you have questions, I mean, it is a really good time to get healthy and whole in our physical body so we can endure whatever is ahead, you know? Even in the world right now, it is a good time to get healthy and get mentally fit too and spiritually ready. I mean, I just feel like we're in that time of, you know, get rid of the junk, the whole purify what's not of the Lord so you can get strong. I think God is raising up an army, and I'll bring it right back to that painting, the breath of life. And to me, that's a picture of hope, that God doesn't see dead things dead. He sees them as opportunities to breathe into. And that's a powerful thing from a loving God, that he will breathe his life back into any situation. So he's a God of restoration, right?
Yep.
Is there any other things you just want to share with anyone, encourage anybody today before we jump off?
So there's one thing that I was thinking. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I never thought about this. And she had mentioned, this whole weight loss thing it's not a salvation thing, but it'll strengthen your walk with the Lord, because it's really about spirit, mind, and body. And so, like, having it all in line, will just kind of enhance that. And the other thing I want to say is, if you're in a situation, or, if you feel like there's nowhere you can go, or you feel like you've hit rock bottom, just know that it's not the end. The
Right.
Lord can help you. Talk to people. There's people out there that would love to talk to you. Don't lose hope.
That's good. It's so true. Yeah, and I felt really this last couple weeks here, I've encountered a lot of people in despair right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Every age range too, from teenagers to adults, like old. And just the Lord has told me to really pay attention to who is around me or who he brings to me or interacting with. And just a little challenge I just feel inside. I've just been trying to encourage everyone I'm talking to. Just little ways. I mean, some cool things happened in the last week with that, but I just felt really the Lord saying, pay attention to speak hope and pray for people right now, because there's a real spirit of despair out there. And one of the biggest weapons that we have as believers is a weapon of praise and thanksgiving and prayer. And just to put on that weapon of praise and praise him in every circumstance. I've encountered too many people right now that are really, really low. And I just think it's such an amazing journey, Justin, that you've been on, that you can turn any situation around. So it's a powerful weapon that you have, is a testimony to get healthy and whole, and, you know, mentally stay really focused right now and strong. So that warrior. Tom, that painting was a huge Sunday morning illustration here. Awesome. Amen. Thanks, Tom. Thank you for sharing that with your congregation. That's great. Yeah. Breathe life. Time, right? So awesome. Yeah, so I just want to thank you for coming on. I didn't put this on. I probably should. I'm really bad. I don't like plugging things, but if you want to join my collectors club, these are the type of paintings that I go out every month. You don't know what's coming, but that's the fun of it, is it's kind of a surprise. So I always tell people, if it's not a personal fave, give it to somebody. Like, give it to people that need a word, or, you know, just an image that could go, like, ask the Lord, who would this be good for? But anyway, that I do painting a month. It's 25 Canadian a month, pretty inexpensive. I don't know what that works out to be American with the dollar, but maybe 18, 20, 18 bucks, something like that. But yeah, that's on my website. If anyone wants to join, just my name, mindyoten.com, and it's Collectors Club is in the top bar. So it's really easy, but it's just something really fun that keeps, actually, I look forward to the every single month. I look forward to just sitting in prayer time with the Lord and asking for that visual. And I do it every month. And I'm like, God, what do you want me to paint this month? So, you know, and some are very personal. Some I feel for a word that more people need to hear. I mean, I try to do it in mind for a word that would resonate with people for the time we're in. But yeah, keep painting. That's what I keep doing. I'm like, I got to keep going. Lord, keep giving me pictures here. It's my perseverance.
I want to say the Collectors Club has been one of the best things that, you know, we've signed up for this year. We, you know, oftentimes we forget that we're even signed up to it, and then it comes and we're like, yes, like, we got a painting.
It's kind of like a magazine subscription. If you really loved, like, getting magazines I remember being in a magazine subscription when I was a kid. It was like Chickadee or something, and it was like the best thing every month to get that magazine. So I know what it feels like. It's a surprise. It's like a little surprise thing every month that is kind of fun. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for doing that. I thought I had one more thing here, but anyway, no, that's it. That's the one bar I wanted. So yeah, Justin, thank you so much. And anyone watching, we'd love to hear who you are. If you're replay, thank you. Give us a shout, say a comment, get a hold of Justin. Even just to encourage you, Justin. I mean, that's an incredible journey. You should be very, very proud of your story. And I feel like it's just started, like just beginning. Something really amazing is going to come out of this time that you've spent getting ready. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having
me. Thank you all for watching. And Leela, we're going to see. Yes, to Collectors Club. You won't regret it. Thanks. Leela's one of my absolutely amazing supporters as well in Mississippi. So you Americans, you guys are awesome. Honestly, I can say that I'm half American, so that's good. But anyway, hopefully someday I can cross the border and come join you guys. So hopefully soon. Anyway, thanks, Justin. Yep. Appreciate you coming on and all your support. So thank you, everyone, for watching. And I'll announce the next time I have someone on. So if you have a story or some kind of connection to my art, you can always message me as well. I love to hear from people. So thank you. Have a good day.